Cortland Simmons with you here, continuing our Super Saturday and Sunday reports on the major preps leading up to the Breeders' World Cup Thoroughbred Championships to be held at Churchill Downs, the home of the Kentucky Derby, right here on the CS Racing Report. And next on the docket, on the menu, is the American Pharoah Stakes. 2-year-olds going a mile and a 16th at the same venue as the Chandelier for the ladies. For the 2-year-old colts, $300,000, grade 1 level race. Drew a field of only 5 in this race, and a lot of that had to do with the fact that, number one, Instagram, thought by many to be the leading candidate for the Breeders' Cup Juvenile. A horse that was going to be favored if he ran in the Mar Futurity off his impressive first 2 races, which included the Best Pal Stakes. He skipped the Mar Futurity, and many thought that he was going to run in this race, renamed from the Front Runner Stakes, and previous to that had been named the Norfolk Stakes. A very, very important staple for 2-year-olds out on the West Coast. It's now named after the 2015 Triple Crown winner. Instagram, of course, will not run anymore in 2018. He is going to be freshened up for that 2019 campaign that some say will be a devastating one, the son of Medaglia And so therefore, coming into this race, the horses that are considered to be the top-end horses are the horses that did participate where the surf meets the turf at Del Mar, including the winner, Game Winner, trained by Bob Baffert, who beat the favorite Roadster, thought by many to be every bit Instagram's equal. He finished 3rd that day, and it came to find out that he had a bit of a throat and a palate issue, and Bob Baffert decided, you know what I'm going to do? I'm just going to go ahead and cut the cord on him for this year, unless they change their mind and call an audible and we see him in the Los Alamitos Futurity or the Kentucky Jockey Club. He doesn't run anymore this year either, and so it'll be very interesting to see how he is prepared for a run toward possible glory in the Kentucky Derby next year in 2019. But meantime, Game Winner carries the torch at this moment for Bob Baffert. He is the 6-5 favorite, but we're going to get more into him in a second. ROWAYTON, the runner-up, finished ahead of Roadster, behind Game Winner, sandwiched in between those two in the Mar Futurity. Larry Best is owner. He's trained by Jerry Hollendorfer. Was not happy with Drayden Van Dyke's ride. Thought that he used too much energy in the early going. He held on gamely, though, to finish second, even though he had a hard time switching leads due to fatigue. And so they're going to definitely try to correct that on this day, going the added distance. He's going to have to, and that holds true for all the horses in here. He's 5-2, though. A lot of people were encouraged by his race, even though he got a little tired, because of the fact that that lead change, if they can correct it, could yield dividends for him. He's 5-2 coming out of the 1 hole. He'll have to show speed coming out of the 1, though. There's no question about that. Another very interesting horse, owned by West Point Thoroughbreds, headed by Terry Finley, one of our more esteemed military men, who is, of course, a big staple in this thoroughbred business, has been the head of operations for West Point for quite some time, and he has a very promising horse, a very nice-looking horse, who can run, too, by the name of Gunmetal Gray, and he has that look, that charcoal look, like he's ready to take care of business, and he did just that. He's the only 2-turn horse, only horse winning that has won at 2 turns, winning a 1-mile allowance, very impressive by 6 3/4 lengths over the horse coming out of the number 3, Jeff A. And he's 9-5. He is a very, very promising looking horse, and we'll find out if the added distance will be of no concern to him and he performs well. Gunmetal Gray out of the 2, the horse he defeated in his 1-mile allowance win by 6 3/4 lengths. Jeff A is coming out of the 3, and then the favorite, Game Winner for Bob Baffert, is coming out of the 4 at 6-5. His story has been told. Came out of that maiden score to win very impressively over his stablemate and ROWAYTON in the Mar Futurity. Very, very nice horse. He's got a nice pedigree by Candy Ride. The dam side seems to show some stamina influence as well, and that's going to definitely have some significance in the way people are going to bet this horse. And certainly after today, we're going to find out a lot more about where he stands in the odds, barring any setback or injury that would keep him from running in Kentucky in the Breeders' Cup. And then Sig Alert was well beaten 10 1/4 lengths in that Mar Futurity. Finished 4th that day. He's 15-1, and justifiably so based on that performance. He's going to have to marketably improve to have an opportunity to hit the board, much less win it. But that's your field for the American Pharoah, running a mile and a 16th, grade 1 for 2-year-olds for $300,000 at Santa Anita, and that'll be part of the NBC Sports Network telecast, and it'll be a race we're going to certainly talk about in great detail in the lead up to the Breeders' Cup World Thoroughbred Championships once again to be held at Churchill Downs, the home of the Kentucky Derby. And we'll recap that right here on the CS Racing Report.